I am live. Oh my goodness. Looks like I have a light issue up here. I'm just going to leave it for now. We shall see. It is morning for me. It is early morning for me. So I'm going to see who pops in here. I know I had at least one person tell me they were coming. So if no one comes, I'll be sad. Oh, one's here. Somebody's here. Woohoo! Who's here? Tell me who you are. That's the only annoying thing about this is I can't interact with people orally. I'm dependent on people typing. So if they don't type, I don't know they're here. So since you weren't here a second ago, I said I have a light issue. What is that's in front of my? Oh, where is it? Ah, there it is. Oh, I wonder if I can just. What if I turn one off? Let me see. Oh, now I'm very dark. Oh, the light's still there. What is that? That's got to be a reflection from something. Who's here? Tell me who you are. I have something I thought I'd share, but I'm going to wait till a certain someone gets here. Hi, Allegra 440. Hi, in Japan. Oh my gosh. Hi, Allegra 440. I'm waiting till Ricardo Blasco gets here from Spain. Two people are here. Two people are here. Who else is here? I've got Allegra 440 from Japan. Is it Ricardo? Ricardo? I'm probably saying that poorly. But who's here? Tell me who you are. Tell me who you are. 3 people are here. As soon as Ricardo is here, I will share something, unless someone has a question first. But Ricardo wrote me from Spain. We have Allegra 440 from Japan. And somebody else left. I hope the other one's Ricardo. Oh my goodness. I'm tired. It's 8 a.m. here. Dawn, Maryland. Just waking up. Yeah, no kidding. I'm having a light issue and I can't quite there. There's a reflection coming from somewhere. Oh, that's terrible. Is it coming from this? I'm trying to figure out my light issue. I got a reflection going on here. Does my books. Anyway. Hello, good morning, Dawn. Maryland, we're in the same time zone. Oh, Allegra 440 from New York City, vacationing in Japan. Oh, cool. I've seen your Theory Thursday stuff. Very neat. I tune orally as well. Oh, cool. So you may not have any questions for me. We can just collaborate. That'd be cool. I have an Ricardo Blasco wrote me privately. If he doesn't pop on soon, I'll just start talking about that. But if someone has a question or something they want to share, oral ideas, let me know. So good morning. Good morning. So it's 9 p.m. in Japan, but it's 8 a.m. here. Wow. Talk about jet lag. Dang. All right. Well, wait, I have 3 people again. Who's my third person? Write in the chat and tell me who you are so I know who you are. Well, let's see. What should I talk about? I suppose I could mention this twice if Ricardo shows up. And it'll be recorded. So, but who's my third person? Good morning to my third person. Write in the chat and tell me who you are so I can say hello. That's the thing. Anybody can spy on me. So if you don't write in the chat, I don't know who you are, but I know you're there. It just tells me how many people are watching. It doesn't tell me who they are. So I like people to say hello in the chat, which I greatly appreciate because then I know who you are. Sort of. I mean, I know your name or your handle. Your what do they call that now? They don't still call it a handle. What do they call your YouTube name? It's your YouTube name. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to be done bantering here. So someone texted me recently. He's actually a graduate of the Butler School, and every now and then he'll ask me how I'm starting, my temperament, because he knows I change. And I hadn't changed in a while. I kind of like a particular way, but people have been asking me about A4. Oh, Allegra 440. You might want to chime in on this one. So let me tell you my issue. I'm going to move. I don't know how to use OBS yet. It's called, I forgot, Open Broadcasting System or something like that. And so I can't have two cameras. I can only have one camera right now. So we're going to take this camera and move it down to my keyboard. And I'll put on the extra light so you can see less of my shadow. I am not high tech. That's just how it is. If people want high tech, I'm not it. But anyway, so this is A4. I'll just leave it where it is. So before, I was just starting from F, and I'm not, ETDs to me are not sacrilege. I don't care. It's fine. I'm just interested in aural tuning. I like to learn from it and play with it and whatnot. And I teach it. But I mostly use ETDs for pitch raises for sure. I've done probably 2 or 3 I've done more than that in recent years. And I do about 1 pitch raise a year aurally. That's it. That's all I do. Okay. So not much. It's usually ETD. And then since I have the ETD, I just start from F. And if someone needs A to be 440 with the ETD, like not 439.5 or 440.5, they can hire a different tuner. That's always been my attitude. But people have been asking me about it, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll think about it. So the other day I decided to start a tuning from A and see what I did. I didn't think about it a whole lot. So I'll tell you what I did because Ricardo wanted to know. So I said A, 440. I tuned my octave to a 4-2 octave, which this is probably not. This piano's ghastly out of tune, I'm quite sure. And then I've been using it to teach, and I've moved everything. So my main point with this is A is what Rick calls the anchor note. This is the note I'm starting from. As soon as I have this at a 4-2 octave, A3 becomes my anchor note now, and I'm going to ignore A4 for a little while. Not yet, but I will be ignoring it eventually. So I'm tuning D, and I just get a good 4th, a good 5th. If I need to adjust A3, I can. So I guess A4 is still my anchor note. A4 is my anchor note until I get this good, and I can tune E as well. Pre-tune it a little bit, but my main focus is D because I'm going to be using D. Okay, so once I get that, then A3 is definitely my anchor note. I'm tuning F from that about 7 beats a second, F to D about 8 beats a second, and I don't know that this is right, but I'm getting it close. Okay, so once I have this about 7, once I have this about 8, I'm going to tune this 4th. And once I have this 4th tuned, around a beat a second, give or take, you measure it. Oh, let's listen to that. Oh, wait, I don't know. There's no... This is what's crazy. The beats on the live stream seem to be fine. But when the recording comes out, you can't hear it. It's terrible. So I have a 4th. Once I tune this 4th, I now have this major 3rd. And I know I need 7, 8, and faster. 9.5, maybe, just faster. So if this comes out slow, I know I have an error. And until I have this worked out, so 7, 8, faster with this 4th, until I have all that worked out, A3 is my anchor note. Once I have that, F3 becomes my anchor note. So now I'm deviating from A4 more and more and more. I could set an A to A temperament. You can always do that. I just prefer not to if I don't have to. I've done it, and I've set a G to G temperament, and I just use the same pattern, but your fast beating intervals change. So once F is my anchor note, I tune C, and then once I have my 5th tuned, You can measure it at both coincident partials, but I have a video on why I prefer to use the second or focus on the second. That's my last decision is with that, but I use them both. I need this to be kind of tuned. So we're going to approximate this. And I'm going to do it this way. This needs to be about 8.5 beats a second. So 7, 8, 8.5, 9.5. And I get all that to work. Once that works, I'm going to pre-tune C sharp. I'm terrible at contiguous thirds. I know other people really like them. I hate them. So I'm just using them to make sure this can work with this fourth. If this fourth can't come out with decent contiguous thirds, then I know I have to revisit that. Then once I do that, I go through the rest of my normal temperament sequence that I explained in a different video. So that's Ricardo's answer, even though he's not here. So anywho, that is it. So that's Ricardo's answer. And okay, so now it's just me and one other person. There's just two of us. If this doesn't work, then I can always bail. But it was just a thought. I have an acquaintance who does live streams, and they're really nice. They're really nice. So this is just something I thought about experimenting with. So who's still here, Allegra or Dawn? If it's Allegra, maybe 440, maybe Allegra 440 can share some thoughts about. Oh, you're still, you might go soon. That's okay. I start from C. Oh, C4. Using a C5 fork. Oh, cool. That works. C4. I like it. Do you tune F3 after C4? This is funny because, yes, cool. Then you go from there. That's cool. That works. I know someone who, when they started tuning, it was a long time ago. They didn't have ETDs yet. I have got to figure out where that is coming from. I can't figure it. That's so weird. It's a reflection. I have a friend who started tuning. Wait, I know nothing yet. Oh, we'll be emailing you soon. Oh, sweet. I thought I recognized your name. Hi, Don. Wait, you're both still here? It says there's only one person. YouTube is lying to me. Hi. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Well, that's weird. I have two people here, but YouTube says there's only one. Oh, fine. It can lie to me. That's interesting. Well, cool. What was I going to say about? Oh yeah. Two things. The first thing is I know someone who started tuning when all you could do was aural tuning. There were no ETDs yet, so he's older. And I'm still sleeping. I know, I'm not so sure I'm awake myself. So he needed to tune. He needed to work, and he was still working on aural tuning, and he was learning it, but he needed more. And he bought a fork set. You can buy a fork set of one fork for each note. And he would tune the octave with the forks, which isn't quite right because they're not that accurate. But it got him really darn close. So once he tuned his octave with the forks, he would go back and reset the temperament knowing he was close. And he got some pretty good tunings that way. So it's kind of like tuning the middle of the piano with a chromatic tuner, like a guitar tuner, and then going back and doing your temperament after you know it's close. It makes it a lot easier. So he did that. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. And I'm laughing at myself right now because I used to really be against talking about temperament sequences, because the first 18 years, I always say this, the first 18 years of my studies, people would just throw a temperament sequence at me. That does nothing. That does not teach you. It teaches you absolutely nothing. And I got so frustrated that for when I started teaching, I would not share a temperament sequence. I wouldn't share my own. I wouldn't talk about any temperament sequence. I would only teach fundamentals. Fundamentals. It's like, when you're playing an instrument, you have to learn fundamentals before if you're taking piano lessons, you don't start out playing Beethoven. If you're learning aural tuning, I don't think it's wise to start out with a temperament sequence unless someone is trying to learn why it's hard or how you can fail, because sometimes that's cool. You can start out with a temperament sequence and go through it and tune things, say pure, if it's just like up a fifth, down a fourth, and learn the hard way about the Pythagorean comma, but otherwise I don't like teaching with a sequence. I like teaching fundamentals first. That's what Rick did with me, and that's what the heavens parted and the angels sang, because all of a sudden I was like, oh, duh. But it wasn't registering until then. And so now I teach fundamentals, and it's only been the last 3 months that I've been willing to talk about sequences in public, because I think that's a bad idea. If you're a beginner, to just start out with a sequence, you're not going to learn really how to tune that way. You'll learn a sequence, you'll learn how to work it, but if you run into certain problems, you're not going to have the tools you need to fix them. So that's why I'm really big on teaching fundamentals first. There are 6 people here. I'm so excited, except YouTube's lying to me, so there might be 7. I'm so excited. So if you're here, type something in the chat and let me know who you are and where you're from, because we got someone who's actually from the US, from New York City, in Japan right now, who's probably going to go to bed soon. And then I have someone else in my time zone who is waking up, and I'm sorry, I understand. But I had people tell me they couldn't join me. Ottawa, Benjamin, hi, Joshua's here from Chicago. Hello, sweet. Joshua liked, well, I shouldn't talk about people that I know unless I have permission, but he liked to, well, you give me an idea though, I can talk about something. Cheers from Ottawa in Canada. Benjamin Borg. Well, hello. I don't know what time zone you're in. That's embarrassing. I'm a theory nerd too. I know. That's why I like talking to Joshua, because he's a theory nerd. And anything I say, he will totally understand right away. I don't have to worry about it. Ricardo is here. Ricardo, I just went through my whole new sequence beginning. Did you catch any of it? Or did you miss it? Hi, Ricardo. Hola. Anyway, so if you missed it, it'll be on the recording. So there's a recording, and it's there. So you'll be able to catch it a little bit later. Benjamin Borg, same one as you apparently. Oh, okay, cool. I'm never sure. And then we have time saving, whatever that is, daylight savings crap. Oh, I hate it so much. Most Americans hate it. Some like it, but you just arrived. No, you missed it. I'm so sad. It's all right. We'll go over. I might go over it again, but what was I going to say? Joshua made me think of something. Oh yeah, Joshua. Okay. So, something interesting I've learned is, well, something I've known for a long time is some tuners hear fourths better and some tuners hear fifths better. There are some who hear them equally the same. And I always thought that was odd, and I've learned more and more about hearing. And I'm teaching someone. So Rick and my husband and me are all kind of the same. I should make a video about this. Imagine a bell curve. So I'm going to make my head the bell curve. Where's the camera? There's the camera. Yes, that's the camera. I'm not looking right at the camera. So if you have a bell curve, okay, imagine at the top of the bell curve are people who hear the pitch of the partial and the pitch of the fundamental at equal levels. Okay. And I don't know if this has something to do with fourths and fifths, but I strongly suspect it does. So if on my right-hand side, which is probably your left-hand side, so on this side, partway down the bell curve, are people who hear more partial than fundamental. And on this side are people who hear more fundamental than partial. And the reason this matters is it has to do with how we hear the beats. And I have reason to suspect, although I don't know, that our skull structure, our bone structure has something to do with how we hear. But I'm not sure. But in any case, this still exists. There are people who hear the beats as they are in reality on this side, like way down at the bottom of the bell curve. There are people who hear the actual pitch of the beats. And if you're one of these people, you're like, well, duh, but not everybody's like that. Okay. So some people just hear the pitch of the beats, and that makes certain things easier for them. Okay. Then on the other extreme, on the other side of the bell curve, you have people who hear, it's an aural illusion, apparently. So I've been told. It's an aural illusion that they hear the beats at the pitch of the notes you're playing. So the beats actually aren't in those pitches, but that's what we hear. And that's what I hear. So I'm about, if the bell curve is up here, I'm about halfway down. So when I hear beats, let me go to my keyboard again. I'm so curious about all this stuff. So let's see. I'm here, F to A. Let me go down to C to E. So let me wrap my head around something again. So I'm up here, right? Yeah. Let me ghost it a second. This may or may not come out on there we go. We have beats. Okay. So I know, right? It's really interesting. This has been blowing my mind. Thanks, Joshua, for responding. So when I hear a major third, I hear dum, dum, dum. I hear dum, 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 dum. I hear it at both these pitches. It's like I'm hearing two exact beats at both these pitches. Dum, 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 at the same time. That's what I hear. And I can hear this up there. I can hear the coincident partial. If I ghosted, I could definitely hear it. But when I play this, it's so hard for me to hear that. I can hear it if I really, really focus, but it's very hard for me to hear that. And so that's one, almost to an extreme. I can hear it better than some. Some people can't hear it at all. So that's the most extreme. Does having tinnitus inhibit hearing the partials? Dawn, that's a really good question. I don't know, but I have ringing in my ears. I don't think it does, because I know people who are just like me who have no ear ringing. So I don't think so, unless it gets too loud. So like the other day, if I eat a lot of salt, I'm off on a tangent. I'll come back to this. I'm going to hold my fingers here so don't forget. If the other day, if I eat a lot of salt, my ear ringing gets so loud, I can sing to you all the pitches that I hear. I hear a middle C. I usually play it here, but it's actually this one. I hear that, and then sometimes I have a G, sometimes I have a D here. So let's see. So I've got that going on, and then constant sound up high. It's very annoying. Hold on a second. I just received a C liver. I'm going to do my first full tuning with it. Nice. Do you still sharpen and then push back down like a traditional lever? That's a good question too. I'm gonna have to come back to that one. Okay, so back to this. So when my tinnitus is really, really loud, I think it does make it difficult to hear the partials, but the way I still hear the beats down here. So I don't need to hear the pitch of the partial. If I need to hear that, so when I hear this, I hear more than just one beat rate. There's one that's louder, and sometimes it's not louder, and I have to find it. But if I'm not sure of which beat rate I'm listening to, I can ghost it. And I can hear that even when my ear ringing is loud. I can hear that. Do I hear the 6/4 partial of the fifth? I'll come back to that too. So some people only hear beating up there, and when they hear down here, they only hear these pitches. I have a student who's like that. It blows her mind that I hear beating down here. So one of the points I want to make with this is it doesn't matter if you're hearing this pitch or not. If you can ghost it and hear it, you're great. All that matters is that you lock onto the right beat rate. So when I'm going like this, and I hear the progression of beats, it doesn't matter what pitch I hear as long as I have the correct beat rate. So that I wanted to say that. Now the fifth, when I play this fifth, I don't hear, unless I try really, really hard, I don't hear any partials of the fifth. I definitely don't hear the 6/4 unless I ghost it. I have to ghost it. So, wait, am I on the right one? Ha! I'm on the wrong one. No, I'm on the right one. Wait. Yeah, sorry, I was on the right one the first time. Ha! So there. And then I'm playing this an octave down on my left hand. I didn't realize it was off the screen. So I measure it, and I can hear. This is why I measure so much. I don't hear the partials up there. So I will measure and listen to them. I focus on this partial, but I listen to the beats. And I hear, I don't hear it up there unless I ghost it. Once I've ghosted it, it makes it easier to find it. I can hear it. I can. It's just really hard. I can hear it, just barely, but I can hear it. But I don't need to as long as I hear the right beat rate. So I hope that answered Joshua's question. But I know people who can hear that really well. I know people who struggle to hear it at all, but they can still hear beats down here, which blows my mind. I don't know how that's possible, but it's a thing. So we hear beats differently, and that blew my mind. I have my C lever with me. Look at what I did. Look what I did with a handle. So there. I put a piece of tape on there because it got loose. I drilled a hole in a round wooden ball, and I can put it on here. And I talked to Dan Levitan on it. He said, as long as my hand is gripping it in the right place, it's okay, but you don't want to grip too low because then it messes it up. Yes, with the gauges, you only need to hear fifth partial beats. Oh, yes, exactly. Oh, so fifth partial. So, but I still hear this up here. Whoops. I still hear that partial, but I mean, I can hear it, but I hear it way louder here. Just way louder, like crazy louder. Interesting. That's right. Fifth partial beats. That's true. So I guess yeah. So anyway, here's this thing. I can answer a question about this, maybe. I have the power. Look at me. Oh boy. So let me wait. Joshua, the check note will always be based on the fifth partial. I mean, yes, it took me a second. Sorry. Yes. Yep. So let me share what Dan Levitan told me about this, and then I'll tell you what I do, which isn't right or wrong. It's just what I do. I have a right shoulder injury. I much prefer to tune with a regular lever, but when my shoulder acts up, this saves my life because I can't reach over the piano without my shoulder falling out of the socket, which is very unpleasant. So, what Dan originally was trying to do was to get a C lever, create a lever that you could turn the pin without flexing the pin. And he worked out all the math and the angles and whatnot. And if your hand is here and he figured it out, he can show you all the math. and the angles and the geometry and all that. But if I just turn this, I'm not going to flex the pin at all. Okay. He was excited. He did it. He went to tune a piano. He could not get a stable tuning with this at all if he didn't flex the pin. So if you look at a regular lever, this is another Dan Levitan lever with a Rayburn tuning tip. If you look at a regular lever, I'm going to hold this sideways. So if I push this way with my lever, I'm going to flex the pin this direction. I can't help it. It's going to happen. There's no way to avoid it. This is what Dan told me. Okay. And you can experiment with it. It's true. And if I push the lever the other way, it's going to flex the pin that way. That's why we put the lever in line with the strings. Because then when we flex it, it's flexing not toward the speaking length. It won't affect the speaking length. So Dan was like, well, we're flexing the pin anyway. We can't not flex it. Why not? Whoops, sorry. Why not use it to our advantage? So still talking about this lever for a minute. If I have really tight pins, I will put this at 90 degrees. And this is not right or wrong, in my opinion. This is just how I do it. And if you think it's a bad idea, don't do it. But with this lever, let me come back to the C lever. With this lever, if I'm flexing the pin a little bit this way or this way, and the pins are really tight, I can use that flex that's happening here to stabilize my tuning. And it works so well. It just works so well. When I push the lever, I'm flexing the lever this way. Katie Lance, hi. Hi from Pennsylvania. Yes. Hi, Katie. I'm so sorry you couldn't make it this year. I'm so sad. But hello. Oh, how nice. Okay. I'm glad I was looking at my screen. Joshua, flexing the pin is okay and can be used to help adjust pitch and make it stable. Yes, that's the point I want to make. Thank you, Joshua. Katie, hi. Anyway, so if I'm flexing the pin anyway, if I'm pushing this way, I'm flexing the pin this way. And it's going to act a little bit like a spring. When I let go, it's going to flex back a little bit. And what that will do is hopefully create a little more tension, slightly more tension in the non-speaking length than the speaking length. Because, wait a minute, 1 second. Oh, Benjamin, let me come back to this. Borg, we had a call with him. Oh, great! For our chapter this month. I love Dan. So we've talked about the geometry already, thankfully. Are you also still using the Watanabe tip? I don't like Watanabe tips. I changed that thing right away. What do I have on here right now? I have a Tafian tip on here right now. The little mouse tips. Those are my favorites. I got a Rayburn tip on this one. But right now, my current favorites are the Tafian. Taffjin. But these are very good. These are excellent. They're not worse than the Tafian. I'd say these are equal or possibly even better than the Tafian. But the Tafian's my favorite for my own reasons. So anyway, what I want here is okay, I'll talk about that in a minute, Allegra. Okay, so what I want here is the pressure, the tension on the speaking length and non-speaking length to be equal on a harder blow, which means at rest, the non-speaking length has to have slightly more tension. So if I lower the pitch and I'm flexing the pin this way, I get it where I want it. I let go, I've pulled some tension onto this non-speaking length. If the pins are tight, it's going to work great. If they're loose, it won't work because it moves too easily and you can't get the same kind of flex and twist with it. It doesn't work. So having said that, if the pins are looser, I will, and vice versa. My bad. Vice versa. So if I'm on a pin and I'm pulling back and I raise it to pitch and then let go, I'm going to create less tension here and it might not be stable. So then here, if I'm lowering the pitch and I flex it a little bit, that much, that's all it takes. I'm not forcing this thing down. I'm just a little bit. and then I get it to pitch and I let it up. Same thing. It's stable. It's really nice. This is my tuning technique. I use it because it works for me. I've been criticized. I don't care. I can give you examples of why I think this is okay to do, but I'm not going to do that just yet because people are writing me. Oh, back to the C lever real quick, and then I'll look at what people are writing me. So with the C lever, I do the same thing. And Dan does this, and you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I will keep a little bit of tension on it. I've just gotten to where I have a feel for down and up. I'll let it relax sometimes when I'm tuning, but when I'm just about to set the pitch, I'll give a lift. So I will. So long answer to your question is yes. So yeah, I still do that, but I know I've seen other people use these, and they'll use jerk motions with it, kind of like a impact lever. I've seen people use it very differently. So experiment and do what works for you. What don't you like about the Watanabe? Watanabe used to be like the best tip around, but they've gotten so good now. I've gotten spoiled. The yawn tips and the Tafian tips fit so good on the pins. It's so much better. There's less play. That's as simple as that. There's less play. Watanabe tips are good. They're better than the hail. They have less play than the hail, but there's even less play in the Tafian and the Rayburn tips. And the yawn tips are good. And there's other tips I haven't tried that I've heard are just as good, but I haven't tried them yet. So that's what I don't care for about the Watanabe. I mean, I can use one. I've used one. It's okay, but this is nice. This is better. Benjamin Borg 100% agrees. So the Tafian fits without an adapter. Yes, I have a Tafian on a Cyberhammer. I may swap. Yeah, totally fits. Totally fits. I love this. Absolutely fits. Yes, swap them. All good. Okay, let's see now. Have I missed anything? I don't think so. So let's see. What was I going to say about... I said I wasn't going to get into it. I'm thinking. I've already forgotten. Ha! Oh, wait. The lift will knock it flat like a hard blow would. Exactly. So this has been my thing lately, because my ear ringing is significant. And I'm trying to protect my hearing. So I'm trying, if I wear earplugs, all I hear is the ear ringing. That lift totally makes sense. Thank you. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's okay. I can tune with the ear ringing. My camera's being funky. Stay where I put you. There we are. So I can tune with the ear ringing. It's okay. But I can't wear earplugs with the ear ringing, because then that's all I hear, and it will make me insane. I cannot tune with earplugs in, at least not fully. I have some, where are they? I have some, not earplugs, but some earbuds that block out quite a bit. And I wear those or earplugs when I do a pitch raise, for sure. And I'm trying to wear them as much as possible, but I just don't hear well with them without hearing, this the whole time. It's just, it's maddening. So I'm learning to tune quiet. That's me multitasking in my brain, trying to watch what people are writing and talk at the same time. Long way of saying I'm trying to learn to tune quiet. I don't want to be banging on the piano. I don't want it loud in my ears. So let's see. Hey, what kind of tolerance? Hi, Thomas. What kind of tolerance do you accept while tuning? I just entered your stream. Hi. You might have to explain what you mean by that, because I don't think I understand the question. Oh, wait. Yeah. So Thomas, type it again. Tolerance with what specifically? And then Joshua, I sometimes tune with my noise canceling headphones in transparency mode. I have never tried those. I probably would like them. I'm thinking about what people are saying while I'm talking. I probably would like them to a point. I don't know what it would do with my ear ringing. I've heard that one of the ways they work is to put out a low hum below our hearing range, and that can actually cause hearing damage. So I'm a little afraid of them. I don't know how they work. So, I mean, I kind of know how they work, but I don't know how they work. So anyway, I haven't tried them. Katie, oh, so you are trying to stabilize with less hard blows. That's exactly what I'm doing. Yep. I'm trying to stabilize it with the lever. Joshua, like sense, maybe he means that. I'll come back to it. Benjamin, before I invested in earplugs, I used noise canceling headphones that have a pass-through mode. Yeah. Other people have told me about that, and I may try it sometime, but I don't want to spend that much money. I have been through so many hearing protections that I've spent money on that I won't use, and I don't want to waste any more money on it. So if I can try them without buying them sometime, I may do that and then decide. But right now I'm just trying to tune more quietly. And it took me 1 to 2 years to kind of get good at it, to be honest. It's not easy. Benjamin, yep. Allegra 440, noise canceling is not proven to protect hearing health. I use earplugs always. Yeah, see, so noise canceling can actually cause hearing damage according to some people because of how it works. So I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, if it, other than that low tone that some of them use, I don't know that they all use it. I don't know. Even if they work, so with noise canceling, you can turn the volume down, right? That's my understanding. So that would protect your hearing if you could turn the volume down. But I will use my earbuds as earplugs because they don't block out everything, and it's way more tolerable than full earplugs. The only time I use full earplugs is when I'm playing the bagpipes. Ha! Thomas, I'm sorry with that. I am curious what is okay to leave. Oh, some imperfections within the tuning. Sometimes I don't have enough time. I know, time to tune every note to perfection. In the end, the customers don't know. I've watched people argue about this. They'll say the customers know that. I'm sure some do. Most of my customers do not. They don't know. They really don't. They're happy with really good unisons. They're happy with a good tuning. I'm going to come back to that because I am obsessive when I tune, and I take way longer to tune than most people. And I think it's just because I'm constantly like, wait, is this, I'm constantly going over unisons big time. And then as far as my temperament goes, I'm very anal about it. Everything has to progress. If I don't know how many cents things are off if I'm tuning aurally, I can check it with an ETD, but I guarantee you some of those ETDs are wrong, especially around the break. In fact, I took a picture of a tuning I did recently where I measured it afterwards, and right across the break, my notes got a little bit sharp, and we're right back down with the ETD again. And I went over it. It was right. It was right. The ETD would have tuned them flat, and that happens a lot because of an inharmonicity shift. Up, I think. Is it up or down? Down. I don't know. I get them mixed up all the time. I still get them mixed up. But there's an inharmonicity shift, and the ETD is listening to a particular partial when it might be better to listen to a different one. And aurally, we make these decisions and smooth it out, but the ETD doesn't always do that. So I don't know how many cents I'm off. I just know if all my fast beating intervals progress, and my fifths are a little narrow, my fourths are a little wide, I know it's good. I'm confident. I'm confident it's good. The customer's going to love it. It's good. So I don't know if that answers the question or not. Let's see. Oh, actually, Thomas, I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Let me see what other people are saying here. Let me say it out loud because I'm going to forget. Across the break, and I talked about this in another video, across the break, you can leave imperfections, which I don't see as imperfections. If I have to make a fifth more pure or a fourth more pure across the break to get my fast beating intervals to progress, I don't see that as a bad thing. So to me, that's not an imperfection. That's a good thing. So I'm just going to say that and stop there. People are getting ahead of me. Most of them play in the inverted pitch of the outside world, but on pass through. Oh, they're not actually canceling the noise. They're using a microphone to pass through at a lower decibel. Yeah. Most of them play the inverted pitch of the outside world. So what he's saying is you have sound coming through, and there's a recording that flips it, and then it cancels out. And they can then analyze what is noise and what's not noise and take the noise out. That's a very dumbed down explanation of noise canceling, of inverting the pitch to cancel sound. But on the pass through, they're not actually canceling the noise. I don't know about this. They're using microphones to pass them through at a lower decibel. Okay. Wouldn't that protect your hearing? I don't know. I don't think I fully understand that, but I'm not an electronics person. So I know a little bit, but not a lot. So I don't understand fully, but that kind of makes sense. Thomas, for example, that sound snakes make a little shh in the tone when all three strings are not 100% in tune. Oh, or the hammers don't. Oh, well, that's a different issue. That's not a tuning issue. That's a voicing issue. So just on the tuning side, you can get false beats, and sometimes you can cancel out the false beats, which is really cool. If you ever experience that, you'll hear it. You'll be like tuning two strings and one of them has a false beat. And so you've got the wah, 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 wah. You get your beats getting slower and you hear this wee, 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 wee. If it's a false beat, you can have real beats up there as well. But then you get them together and all of a sudden, woo, everything's smooth. The false beat's gone. It's canceling it out somehow by phasing. So if you put your strings slightly out of tune, you can cancel false beats sometimes. And you just have to experiment, trial and error. I don't know a way to do it other than that. So that's in the string. And so what I will do is place it where it's the least offensive. So sometimes I will leave a roll or an out of tune unison just a little bit if it cancels out a higher partial that's beating, whether it's false or real. If you have two strings that have different harmonic series coming off of them, they don't have the same inharmonicity, I meant to say. I didn't mean to say different harmonic series, but kind of different inharmonicities. When you get the lower partials to line up, the upper ones will beat. If you get the upper ones to line up, the lower ones will beat. And you have to place it wherever you think it's the least offensive. That's how I say it, the least offensive. The most beautiful would be more a positive outlook, but I do the least offensive because it's offensive. So that's my take on that. So you can actually have real beats. So you have no choice. If it's coming from the strings. Now, if it's coming from the hammer, string mating, voicing, that's all important. If I am doing a tuning and I have to get going, I will leave it. If the customer says something sounds funny here, I'll address it. The way I tune, the way I schedule my appointments is they get the tuning and one extra service. Most of the time that service is a pitch change, pitch raise, pitch change, whatever. If they don't need a pitch change, I'll do something else. Usually it's regulation. Sometimes it's voicing. Sometimes it's action alignment. So that's when I fit those in. They always get one extra service. That's just how I price because I don't like charging for pitch raises. It's built in. And if they don't need it, they get something else. And everybody's happy. So let's see. I hope that answered that. And then it is interesting, isn't it, Katie? It's fascinating stuff. And I am not a high-end concert technician. So when it comes to voicing, you don't have to trust anything I say. I'm just putting that out there. So many customers don't care for humidity, and all my hard work will go away in a few weeks. I know, because of that. So I'm debating with myself what I should cover for a good tuning. That's a personal call, and it depends where you live. I have one customer. I can tell you personally, if like yesterday, I started a piano that was 200 cents flat, and I said, okay, I'm going to raise it to A415. And if I break a string, I'm not going to raise it anymore. Because sometimes what I'll do is raise it 100 cents and then go back and do a second pitch raise. Because 200 cents, I've done it, but I'm afraid of breaking strings. So I got all the way to the top after the first 100 cents, and B7 broke. So fortunately, that was an easy one to replace, but that's it. I left it at A415. I forgot why I was saying this. Oh, yeah. So I did this huge pitch raise. I'm not going to go over that aurally with a fine tooth comb. I am looking for stability. I'm looking for clean unisons. It's not going to hold anyway. I have another customer who leaves her front door open all the time for her animals to come and go, and her piano's right by the front door. That tuning lasts a month at best, and I do the best I can to make it stable. I just do the best I can, and it is what it is. I empathize. I don't know what to tell you. Personal call. Joshua, you're making a different compromise, one based on what you're hearing. Yes. It's always a compromise. Whether I'm tuning unisons that aren't perfect or intervals that have inharmonicity shifts, you just have to make a personal judgment call. And usually there's more than one right answer. So, somebody, I followed a tuner recently where they didn't choose to adjust fast beating intervals. And the customer said, I don't really care for this. And I listened. I said, well, here's what they did. There's an inharmonicity shift here. This was their choice. It's not necessarily wrong. It's just their choice. Anyway, Katie, I know some ETDs make it so that you can set the brakes. Yeah. So I'm curious if that would even it out to match the aural tuning. I'm glad you mentioned that, Katie. Yes, some of them do a pretty good job of that. Some better than others. There's one in particular that moves everything in the right direction. It just doesn't move it far enough. So it depends on what ETD you have. I'm not going to name any right now. It depends on what ETD you have. Most of them, when accounting for that, will move things in the right direction. Some don't move them far enough. Some get closer. It's a challenge, so it depends on what ETD you use and the piano. The worse the piano, the harder the ETD is going to have a time of dealing with it. So it really depends on the piano as well. If you have a piano that doesn't have major inharmonicity shifts, the ETD is going to do a lot better. It's like our ears, in a way. So Benjamin, Thomas, your sound reminds me of the sound of poor hammer me. Yeah. Since it's only hitting 2 strings, it just ticks the 3rd string, causing that high harmonic zing. Yes, I hate that so much. But yes, that's a voicing issue. You can't fix that by tuning it. You can mess with it a little bit. You can cause a little wave in the beat to distract from it maybe, but you can't fix it. Joshua, more info for the ETD is helpful. Yes. I try to make sure I sample these notes around breaks. That's also used to calculate pitch raises. Oh, yeah. Is it? Yes, it is. That's right. Yeah, they care. With the pitch raise, though, I'm asking, I don't know. With the pitch raise in an ETD, isn't that to calculate overpull because you're going to need less right at the end of a break? But I'm sure it does stuff at the main break because there's more than one break. Katie, 200 cents is always so scary. I'm like, Lord help me. I know. I was there. I don't know why it is, but after I had tuned for about 10 years, I got a feel for when I could pull them up or not. I've done as large as a minor third or even major third pitch raise. The piano was so out of tune that it was varied throughout the piano. And I got it up to pitch. I didn't do it all in one pass, but close. There's sometimes I just feel like, oh, this piano's going to do this just fine. And other times I'm like, and yesterday was one of those. I was like, I don't think I can do this. But the customer wanted me to try. And I said, if I break a string, I stop. They said, okay. And so we stopped because I just had this feeling that it's going to break a string. It's just going to do it. I don't know. Yes, it's terrifying. Thomas, Benjamin. So it's okay to leave it or to try to diminish it a little bit. Benjamin. Oh, yeah. Benjamin, feel free to answer that question if you want to. I'm going to say yes. My answer to the question to Benjamin is yes. What Thomas asked is it's okay to leave the sound with tuning. I assume he means with tuning. Yes, you have no choice. You have to leave it. You can voice it if you want. If the customer, if you want to charge for that and the customer wants to pay for it, then you can voice it. I have customers who don't care and don't want it voiced. They're like, no, it's fine. So if the customer doesn't notice, you have to make a call as to whether or not you're going to raise their attention to it, because then they're going to hear it. And then you have to try to fix it. And do you have time to do that in the time you allotted for your appointment? I allot extra time because I take too long. So I often have time to do that. So, but Benjamin, let's see. So Benjamin, answer that if you would like. I think my hubby is leaving. I'm going to say bye. Bye. Okay. Let's see. Struts especially. Yes. Joshua, struts especially. Katie, I do it in 2 passes too. And when something breaks in the treble on the second pass, it's so annoying. Like we were so close. I know, right? I almost never break a string on the second pass. Knock on wood. I don't know. I don't think I ever have. I have broken strings on the first pass, lowering them on an ancient upright. I just felt like the strings were going to break. I went to lower them first. I broke 3 strings lowering the pitch. I'm like, really? Really? Fine. Olubori, I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry if I botched that. Hi, Maggie. Good to join you again. Hello. Josh, do you pitch raise aurally? Oh, I said that earlier. I almost never do. I think I average 1 aural pitch raise a year just to do it. And 2 have come out phenomenally well. I was blown away at how good they came out. But most of the time I use an ETD. I already take too long. If I do a pitch raise aurally, the chance of me having to do another pitch raise after that is 50-50. I don't want to do another one. So I use an ETD. Why not? Make my life easier. Katie, wow, that's an amazing amount of pitch raise. I know, right? It's crazy. A minor third, a major third, that's insane. But this piano, in fact, I should post this on some of the groups. This piano, I'm gonna have to go soon. This piano that I tuned yesterday had not been tuned. I'm not kidding. This is my record. 55 years. 55 years. My record up till yesterday was 30 years for how long a piano hadn't been tuned. This was 54. Okay. 54 years. I rounded it. My God, I was terrified. Benjamin Thomas, yes. With tuning, yes. I'd leave it. But for mating, I would adjust the hammer travel and then file the hammer grooves down so it's hitting all strings equally. There you go. There's the answer. Thank you, Benjamin. I appreciate that very much. I consider myself an average tech. Okay. I'm not a high-end concert tech. I'm average. So people that are going to be on here probably know more than me. I love it when people chime in with answers like that. Really appreciate it, Benjamin. That's what I would do. You can also level strings. I know people who prefer to level strings to try to get that to work, and people who prefer to file, and they both have good arguments for what they do. So, whatever works. I don't advocate for one or the other. Hammer travel is important. And hammer alignment. So like if you have a hammer and it's traveling straight, but it's traveling this way straight, you have another problem. So traveling and Benjamin, if you think of the word for the burning, casting, that is also important. Thomas, thanks. Maggie and Benjamin. Yes, thanks, Benjamin. Appreciate it. Katie, haha, knock on wood. I know. Yeah, it's usually the first pass for me, but just a couple months ago, it was the second pass. And I was like, WTH. That is wild. The strings broke, lowering them. I know. It's just rude. It was rude for them to break on the second pass. That's just rude. I can't believe that. That's terrible. Now lubricant. So somebody convinced me to use counterbearing lube on an older piano, which I did yesterday. I think I would have broken more strings yesterday if I hadn't used it. I think it really does help. Look up counterbearing lube for pitch raises, especially if the strings are old and rusty, because those are the ones that broke when I was lowering them. They were rusty. And I didn't use counterbearing lube. I didn't know about it yet. It was early on in my career. Thomas, how flat has a piano to be so it makes sense to pitch raise it? Oh, that's a good question. So if people on here want to chime in with their limit, I bet you we're all going to be different. I know this is going to be crazy. My limit, everything has to be within 4 cents. Anything beyond 4 cents, and I do a pitch change. So you might laugh at me, but That's what I do. Or I'll at least move everything. If it's more than 5 cents, pitch change. I'll do an extra pass because it's, CyberTuner has the smart tune function. It gets you really close, but I still, no, I like the final pass. So that's me. So let other people chime in. Josh, he's laughing at me. 4 cents. I know, right? Katie, I do like 8 cents or more. There you go. See, we're going to get different answers here. And people are going to laugh at my 4 cents. I told you they would. But that's okay. It's fine. It's just your experience, what works for you. Katie, I had around 50 years a while ago. Wow. 50 years hadn't been tuned. Lady was like, I think it's been 20. Then after I had done the pitch race, she comes in and goes, actually, it was when my son was like 5 and he's in his 50s. Oh, wow. You would have beat me until yesterday. Katie, I'll check out counterbearing. I actually use a tiny bit of Protect. You can use Protect for counterbearing lube. It is official. You can use Protect for counterbearing lube. It is light enough. You don't have to change. You've got it, Katie. You've got it. Joshua, 4 cents. Haha. I know. I'm silly. Thomas, no, don't laugh. I agree with you. It just depends. 8 cents or more. Early on in my career, I was more like Katie. I was like 8 cents or more. Now I just do 4, and I honestly can't say for sure that it matters. I feel like it does. Joshua, it'll drop 25%, so that should get you within a cent. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. So Joshua is saying that if you do a pitch raise, you can expect it to drop about 25%. There you go. And that's why when I do a pitch raise, if I'm doing one aurally, I will raise it. Like I'll set A, I'll kind of guesstimate where it is with the rest of the piano. I'm going to make a video about how to do this with a tuning fork because it's not simple. I'll tune my A4 or whatever I'm tuning to. So if it's, well, you might have to use A sharp 4 to get a difference for about where you are. If they're the same flat, I'd be listening to beat rates with the fork and I'd pull it up. However many beat rates a second it is flat, I want to pull it about half that sharp, maybe a little less than half, 25 to 40%. You want to bring it sharp, and you're guesstimating. So cool. Thank you, Joshua. Katie, Thomas. So you go raising it real quick and fine tune a second round in one session. Yes, Thomas. Yes. And if it's a big pitch raise, I will, like yesterday, I was going to do 2 pitch raise passes before I fine tune. If I'm aurally doing it, it's going to take more than that. But I am not bothering with a big pitch raise aurally. I've done it just so I can say I've done it. It's not fun. So, yeah, I can do a small pitch raise in 15, 20 minutes, usually 20. I've done it in 15 because I was really trying. But I can do it in 20 minutes. I'm just booking, which is ironic because I can do a pitch raise so fast and then my fine tuning takes friggin' forever because I'm so anal. Let's see. Benjamin, to get CBL in Canada, one drives down to the border and meets its maker to stock up. Oh my gosh. Brilliant. So Benjamin, do you have to pay a tariff on that? Not a tariff. Well, no, there wouldn't be a tariff on that. It would be, I mean, do you have to go through customs, I guess is what I'm asking. If you buy something at the border, do you have to go through customs? That's interesting. Katie, thanks for doing this live. I really liked it. Gotta go. Bye. Bye, Katie. Oh, shoot. It's 9:04. I got to go too. Joshua, if you pull 4 cents up to 440 pitch, it'll end up around 1 cent flat. Otherwise, you need to overshoot a little or let the ETD do its thing. Oh, yeah, for sure. If I'm doing a pitch raise, I will pull it up. If I'm doing a pitch raise aurally, I will pull it up sharp. It's just how sharp. I try to shoot for 25 to 30%, usually closer to 30 if it's an aural pitch raise, sharp. And then if I do overshoot, I can always pop it back down a little bit, but I'm usually at about 30% sharp. And how I judge that is tricky. Sometimes it's guesswork, listening to beat comparisons and whatnot. I'm going to play around more with that with a fork. I have to go. Thank you all. This has been fun. It started out slow and we got a whole bunch of people, and some people got their questions answered by other people other than me. I like that. That's awesome. So I have to go. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it very much. I'm doing this again at 8 p.m. tonight because I'm insane, but this morning thing worked. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you, Chat and Maggie. Mwah. Y'all take care. Happy tuning. Bye.